If you have MS, you've probably been told your immune system is attacking you, and there's nothing you can do to heal the lesions except to take more drugs for symptom relief. But what if that's not actually true? What if your body isn't attacking you, but actually trying to protect you? And I know that might feel hard to believe at first, because when you're exhausted and inflamed, your symptoms feel unpredictable. When your body doesn't cooperate, you start to lose trust in yourself, and it doesn't feel like protection. It feels like your body's betraying you. But when you start to see your body differently, not as something that's broken, but as something overwhelmed, everything changes and you can finally start to heal. Because instead of fighting yourself, you can start listening. And research is actually starting to reflect this. Your nervous system, your stress levels, your emotional patterns, these are some of the biggest drivers of inflammation in MS. But they're almost never part of the conversation. I'm Nancy Ma, physical therapist and the Autoimmune Freedom Coach. And after 20 years of working with women with autoimmune conditions, I've seen what happens when we finally address this piece. So in this video, I want to walk you through 3 shifts that don't involve pushing harder or doing more, but finally giving your body what it's been asking for. The number one thing I want you to understand is what's driving your inflammation. What is the root cause? Before you try to fix anything, you need to understand why your body is inflamed in the first place. We know that there's inflammation, but why is it happening? Because MS doesn't just come out of nowhere. It's not because of bad luck. There are layers to it: mind, body, and energetic layers. And most approaches only look at one. So on the mind level, it's that constant pressure, that pressure to perform, to prove your worth, to hold everything together. Even now, even when you have daily symptoms, you might be thinking to yourself, I need to fix this. I need to do everything right. I can't keep living this way. People depend on me. I need to get better. And your body feels that pressure. At the level of your body, you're not working with your body. You're pushing through your symptoms. You're ignoring your body's signals. You're forcing your body to work through exhaustion. You're running on empty. You're maybe using caffeine or medication or pure adrenaline just to keep going, instead of learning to actually restore your body and what you actually need. And on the energetic level, it's everything you've been holding in. The years of stress, the untold resentment, the grief, all the times that you had emotions that you didn't address. You didn't speak your truth. You didn't share what was bothering you because you didn't want to be a burden. And your body carries all that. And over time, it weighs on your system. So if you're only focusing on food or supplements or pills and following different practitioners to all these different appointments, these patterns are still running in the background, driving your inflammation, keeping you stuck. So I had a client on paper. She was doing everything right. She was going in for her regular infusions and lab work, and the doctor said, okay, you're doing fine. The lesions are not getting worse, and just keep going to physio. Keep doing your exercises. She did that for a while, but she wasn't getting better. So she tried the natural route, started seeing a functional medicine doctor, cleaned up her diet, took new pills. These were supplements. She did new exercises, and she was still exhausted all the time. And so when we started working together, we looked deeper into what was going on. What we discovered was that she was constantly pushing herself, ignoring her body's cues, and holding in years of stress that she never processed. And her system never felt safe enough to actually heal. So she kept chasing these different healing protocols and not really checking in with herself to see what she needed. So once we started working on those layers, that's when things really began to shift for her. Another thing I want you to understand is that your nerves can regenerate if you give them the right signals. Your body is more capable than you've been led to believe. Your nervous system can repair. Your body can regenerate, but it doesn't happen through force. It happens through signals. And I'm not just talking about nutrition. Yes, nutrition matters, but your body is constantly reading signals beyond that. So whatever situation you're in, your nervous system is always scanning for signs of threat and signs of safety. It's always checking in to see how safe you feel, how much pressure you're under. So if you're constantly pushing, then your nervous system thinks that you're in fight or flight. But if you actually allow yourself to rest, your nervous system can actually allow you to start healing. Because that's only when healing can happen, is when you are feeling completely safe, to let go, to not pressure yourself, to not keep up. So if your body is constantly in stress mode, it's not focusing on repair, it's focusing on survival. Now, here's what I want you to understand about the healing process. There's 3 stages of healing. So the first is protection. That's where inflammation is strongest. Now, inflammation doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It means that your immune system is protecting you. So think about if you were to step off a curb and twist your ankle. It would swell up and it would be very painful. Why does that happen? Because your body wants to protect further injury. And that inflammation is part of the healing process. Now in MS, the inflammation is happening in your nervous system and it stays inflamed because your body's still trying to protect the area. It's not able to move on to the next stages of healing. So after inflammation, your body will move on to repair. This is when your body sends signals to the area that says, okay, we're safe now. We don't need to protect anymore. We can start repairing the dead tissue. We can repair the injured tissue, remove the toxins, remove the debris, the waste products, and bring in repair molecules, or we can bring in repair cells. And this stage is never reached because we're always in protection mode when we're in survival mode. I hope you understand that, because when you're in survival mode, you can't make it to the repair stage, because the final stage of healing is the building phase. This is where you are building your new tissues. This is where your nerves can regenerate. So those are the 3 stages of healing: protect, repair, build. And in MS, if you're constantly in the protect phase, you're never going to be able to heal. And that's why you can be doing all the right things and still not see progress, because your body doesn't feel safe enough. But when you start giving it those signals through slowing down, through listening, through responding, instead of pushing through, your system begins to shift. And that's when healing becomes possible. So healing actually requires a whole mind, body, energy framework. This is where everything comes together, because healing isn't one thing. It's not just healing your nervous system. It's not healing your immune system or your digestive system. It's not found in a supplement. It's not found in a diet. It's not just a mindset shift. It's a full life approach. It's how you support your nervous system, your physical body, and your emotional energy all together. So this is how it looks. You have to learn simple, mindful tools to calm your nervous system so your body can come out of survival mode. You have to learn how to restore your body's natural rhythms. You have to learn how to work with your body. You have to learn what your body needs, because not everybody can eat the same diet and heal. Your body requires something different, and you have to know how to feed your body what it needs. And I'm not just talking about food. I'm talking about how you sleep, how you move, how you go through your everyday, not in a forced way, but in a way your body can actually sustain. And you also have to learn how to work with your emotional patterns and past experiences. We can't really separate our emotions from who we are. Our emotions are deeply connected to our energy, and that's a very human experience. But the challenge is, in a world where we're always performing and pushing through and trying to keep up, we tend to push down our emotions. And when we lose that connection with ourselves and we're trying to block our feelings and block real human experiences, then that's going to create a stagnation in your energy. And that also shows up as inflammation. So part of the healing process has to involve working with your emotions and learning what your body has been holding on to for years, because these patterns are silently creating inflammation without you realizing them. So I bring this up not to say you have to relive the past, because that's something that is highly pushed nowadays, to say, okay, you need to go to a talk therapist to talk about your past and talk about your feelings all the time. When I say that you have to understand how to process your emotions, I mean that you have to learn what emotions are driving your patterns, your automatic ways of thinking and acting or behaving in your everyday life. And if you don't understand your triggers, you won't understand your patterns, and therefore you can't change your patterns, and you'll be living on autopilot. And so this is why the emotional work is necessary, so you can finally release what's been stored. And this will also help to heal the lesions in your nervous system, because that's where we store our trauma. That's where we store our repressed emotions. So when those pieces come together, your mind, your body, and your emotions, your body doesn't have to protect so hard anymore. And when your body stops protecting, that's when it can start healing. So if there's one thing I want you to take from all this, is this: when you have MS, your body is not working against you. It's been actually trying to carry you. It's protecting you. It's holding everything together, and that's why your nervous system feels fried. And for a very long time, it's just doing its best. And you have to learn that healing doesn't start with pushing harder. I had a client who she would just force herself to do all these exercises because that's what she was told would help her heal. And she would get so mad at herself when her body didn't cooperate. And she would say really mean things to herself, like, "You're terrible. Like, I hate you. Why are you doing this?" And on one of our group calls, someone mentioned, that's really a form of abuse. How you're talking to yourself is no different than how an abuser would speak to its victim. And when she saw that reflected back to her, she broke down in a good way, because she just saw how much her self-talk and her negative energy towards herself was contributing to the inflammation. So because of that, she was able to break this pattern that she has been living with for as long as she's had MS. And every day she's slowly but surely taking steps in the right direction, getting her energy back, not relying on medications to function, taking stronger steps every single day. And it's not by taking more medications. It's by learning to work with her entire life situation, her mind, her body, and her energy. So this is how you can start healing as well. It starts with finally feeling safe enough to slow down and to trust yourself. So if this video opened something up for you, if you recognize yourself in any of what I talked about today, I want you to know that this is just the beginning of what's possible when you stop fighting your body and start working with it. So I have two things for you. The first is a free Autoimmune Freedom Workshop where we go much deeper into everything we talked about today: your nervous system, your emotional patterns, and the real roots of what's keeping your body stuck. The link to join is in the description below. So this is not an information session. This is a workshop where we're going to dive deep into the roots. And if you're ready to take this further personally, you can also book a strategic activation call with my team. There's a link directly below as well. And on this call, we're going to look at exactly what your nervous system has been holding on to. And we're going to map out what your body needs next so your body can start shifting. Both of these can be found in the link below. Until next time, please subscribe, leave a comment, because I do this work to support women who are feeling frustrated that they're doing everything and it's not working. And I'm here to give and share tools and resources that can support you on your healing journey. So until the next video, I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon.